views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, and today we have a powerful show for you. Coming up on today's show, 16 years ago, our nation was struck with a senseless attack. And we'll reflect back on that day and hear from Bronx residents and community leaders on their thoughts and feelings about that day and moving forward. Plus, on Tuesday, September the 12th, New Yorkers will head to the polls for the Democratic City primary election, and we'll keep you informed on what you are voting for and the importance of local elections. Then we'll take a look at a local effort to send relief to the hurricane victims, and we'll check out a whole lot of other things coming up. We have the sports competition encouraging teens from around the world to follow their dreams. And after that, the community and business. They'll come together to celebrate autumn with games, food, and fun. And we'll get a preview of all of that. And then later on, we'll learn about a youth empowerment program you don't want to miss. So stay tuned. Yes, you are the parents. We're open. We'll be back. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open, the only live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, 16 years ago today, on September 11th, our nation faced a senseless act of terror as 4 airplanes were hijacked and 2 flew into the Twin Towers at the World Trade Center. 1 flew into the Pentagon building, and 1 flew into a field in Pennsylvania, where Vice President Pence is visiting this morning. Hundreds of firefighters and first responders came to the scene. However, attacks left close to 3,000 people dead. Following these events, BronxNet's Derek Woods has a story. He spoke to some firefighters.
343 New York City firefighters died when the towers fell on the 11th. That is, 1 in every 33 members of the department is now gone. My brother is a New York City firefighter. He came home on the 11th, but many of his brothers did not. I recently spoke to some Bronx firefighters to discuss how they're learning to deal with the tragedy. Guys, in the aftermath, where did you find consolation?
I was going to say consolation with our families and really our fellow firefighters, you know, that understand we're all in the same boat. We understand, you know, what has occurred, and we've all gone through the same emotions and experience, you know, in the last month. And I was saying earlier today that it's difficult to relate right now to people on the outside of the job. You know, they don't really realize what has occurred.
Following the attack, I know. I mean, I literally, when I heard a loud bang, I was a little turning my head. How did you guys focus on the job?
Fires have to go out. The fires have to go out. That goes off, conversation at the table ends, and you get on the rig. And boss is yelling out, it's Kelly and 156th Street. And, okay, the 6-story building, and what is your assignment? What are you going to do? And you got to go do it. There's no second guessing yourself or anything else. You go in, you put the fire out.
It's a matter of getting back to your routine. You know, there's certain things you do, like Red was saying, you pay attention to what address it is. You're doing a size up. Once you're getting back into the regular routine, you're not thinking about the guys we lost, you're thinking about the job at hand.
Thank you, Derek Woods. Now, 16 years later, we hit the streets to see the reaction of Bronx residents about the day and moving forward.
On 9/11, when I first found out, I was in the subway on 59th Street. A friend of mine came up to me and started banging the window and said, get off the train, get off the train, get off the train.
Well, when it happened, I was in class. I was sitting in a room like, I forgot what we were learning. I think it was like doing numbers or something like that. And then all of a sudden, like, they stopped class, they rolled in a TV, they put it on, and like we saw what was happening. And then parents started picking us up from school, and like everybody just started leaving slowly. And then we went home and started watching the news, and it was like the whole day, all the news channels were just showing it and how it was progressing.
When 9/11 occurred, I was working at a CPA firm located above Grand Central, and I happened to be listening to the radio, and a special report came in, and they said a plane had hit one of the World Trade Centers. So initially, I just thought, some idiot pilot just probably hit the World Trade Center. I didn't really think that much of it. But then when they said a second plane hit, that's when I knew something was up.
Well, it changed. The electronics changed, because as soon as that happened, technology changed, Bill Gates and everybody, they turned the switch on, and now you can't walk in the street without being captured on video, or everything's on video now. Everything's on video, so that's what changed.
The presidency and how Trump acts towards people and things like that. So I'm just like, oh, get these people out of here and things like that. I don't feel like, I'm safe or like I belong or anything like that.
I believe every time it comes around, I call the same people. It was tough. It was tough.
We will never forget. Throughout the show, we will have more. I remember covering it that day for 1190 WLIB and 107.5 WBLS. In spite of all the things that were happening that were negative, I remember the love and camaraderie that took place on that day and the days after. And I hope we don't have to wait for times of sympathy to get back into that love that I felt that day. We're going to take a quick break right here, but coming up next, we'll look at what one group is doing to make sure the community heads out to the polls. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Dominicanos USA works to give a voice to the community through civic engagement. And joining us for a look at their work and the wonderful things that they're doing in the community, they get people to the polls. They get people to participate too. We have Executive Director Eddie Cuesta and New York Director Omar Suarez. We welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you.
So you guys are out with your sleeves rolled up, doing what's necessary to make it all happen. Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be on this program, BronxNet, which is so important. Dominicanos USA is a nonpartisan organization. For the last 3 years, we've been out in the community, working with our mission to empower our community to become involved in the civic process by registering them to vote. In the last 3 years, we have been able to register more than 150,000 people, basically more than 110,000 here in the Bronx, here in New York City, and more than 53,000 in the Bronx.
Well, you're moving the crowd.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
That's
yes.
a good thing. Yeah.
Apart from that, we also have developed system. We have been able to really mobilize our community, those new voters that come into our database. We are able to go into the community, talk to merchants, different activities, parades, block parties, and do also door knocks, which is very, very important.
There you go. So you have your hand on everything that's happening in the community. People who are hosting on stage, all the block parties, and all those things that are happening, and you knock on the doors, Omar.
We make phone calls at the door, at parades. We were at the Bronx Dominican Parade. And we also visit many of the local high schools. Walton Educational Campus, just up the block. We actually were
because
there.
You can vote at 18.
Yes, so many of the high school seniors, as soon as they turn 18, we can register them right before their birthday. Before their birthday, and then after they turn 18, they're actually able to vote. So it's a great way to get young people involved.
Omar, how did you get involved? Somebody came up to you and said, hey, I want you to participate in what we're doing here.
Well, I've been involved from an early age, and ever since I turned 18, there was a voter registration card on the kitchen table. So every day I would come home and see it there, and my parents would hassle me and say, hey, you registered to vote yet? You registered to vote yet? Until I finally filled it out and sent it in, and I've been voting ever since. That was, it was many years. That was a few years back. So.
Oh, I thought you were going to throw the many on there. But it's okay. At an early age, you started. That's
right. And about 3 years ago, when this project started, we joined together and have been just at it since. Really passionate getting our community out to participate.
Beautiful, Eddie. What do you want voters to learn?
Well, basically, it's very important for them to really reach out to organizations like ours, and make sure they know exactly where they should go and vote. It's very important, especially for our youth. I could add that we have registered 43% of millennials, which is very, very important. This summer, we host a summer youth employment program. We had over 75 youth going out into the community, talking to adults, telling them the importance of participating in the electoral process, and then we were able to register more than 1,000 people. So that's very important because they say that our youth don't participate. And elected officials have to really pay attention to our youth in terms of education, in terms of job creation, and this is important. Our message is that anyone that has any difficulties in terms of going to the poll sites, that they could call our office, they could reach out to the voter lookup with the Board of Elections, which is very important. And we want to make sure that our community comes out and vote.
Yeah. Omar, what do you say to the people who want to just say, nah, I'm staying home, I'm going to watch TV, What do you say to those people?
You can do that any day, but on election day, what you should be doing is going out and voting. I mean, it just takes, in New York, we're lucky enough, if there are big lines, they're probably just during the presidential elections, during certain times, but for a municipal election, unfortunately, we in the last few mayoral elections, we've barely gotten 20% of the people out to vote.
Yeah, so people will sneak up on you if you don't get out to vote with these local elections.
Yeah, and people don't know every year in New York is an election year. It's not every 4 years nor every 2 years. Every year there are some elections in New York. This year's a big one. It's New York City. It's our mayoral, city council. You have a few district attorneys in some of the boroughs, and public advocate, comptroller. These are very important positions. They're actually affecting your day-to-day life. Yeah. And if we let 20% of the population make the decision for all of us, then the rest of us can't complain, can we? If we let that 20% decide.
And how important is it for people to participate in these local elections?
Well, it's the most important part. It's not only the presidential election. They have to vote in every election. For instance, last year we participated in every election. We were able to do more than 70,000 calls of those people that we register, knock on over 60,000 doors, make over 100,000 calls. So it's making sure those new voters, they know specifically that there is an election. A lot of times people don't know there is an election. So it's so important for us to send that message. We use a lot of technology with old-fashioned canvassing, and I think that was brought in an increase in voter
Technology's
registration.
really, really big with these elections these days. Huh?
Yes, yes,
Old
yes.
school, new school.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Put it in the mix. There you
Mix
go.
it up. Mix a little old school, a little new school, person-to-person contact over the phone or at the door, mixed with, you know, a little bit of the bilingual, Spanglish, you know, mira como está, and just that really goes well with the people.
Tell them to come to vote in Spanish.
Yeah.
Tell them the importance of coming out to vote in Spanish. And tell them when to come. Go ahead.
A toda mi gente, es importante salir a votar mañana, el día 12 de septiembre. Son primarias muy importantes en la ciudad de Nueva York.
See? Sound like he can be on radio too. 107.5 WPLS. Mañana.
223
There you go. What's the number again?
No, 718-665-0400. That's Dominicanos USA.
They could also go to our social media. We've been providing information through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and our website, Yo Soy Dusa. But it's very important that the polls will open tomorrow at 6 a.m. and it will be closing at 9 p.m. You have to come out. And if you encounter any problems where no one finds your name in the roster, please, you know, vote, you know, with an absentee ballot because it's very, very important. And the only way we're going to have a difference here if it's our community come out to vote. That's the only way politicians pay attention.
What about the senior citizens that want to come out?
It's
How do
very
you get them out?
It's very important. Well, last year we were able to do transportation for many of them. So now what we have is, you know, taxi-based companies in our community where people have a situation where they could not get to the polls that will provide transportation in some limited areas because we're not, you know, citywide. But those voters that we have registered, if they need any transportation, we'll be there to help them.
Do a lot of elected officials come up to you guys and want to talk and reach the crowds that you guys reach?
Well, we're nonpartisan. Every elected official is interested in seeing what we have, the amazing work that we've been doing in terms of reaching out to the people. But it doesn't leave it only with voter registration. We also have developed a system where those people that we have reached out to in terms of asking them, are you a U.S. citizen? Are you 18 years old? And they tell us no, but they are a legal permanent residents. We've been working in making sure that they could become U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
So we have a
And then
citizenship program that's also very important that connects them with the voting.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Eddie Cuesta, Executive Director, Dominicanos USA, and Omar Suarez,
Thank you.
New York Director. Give them a big hand, everybody.
Thank you.
We've got to take a quick break right here, but coming up next, people all over the Houston area, they've been displaced by Hurricane Harvey. Now you got the new hurricane out there. So we're going to be looking for local efforts and people taking care of people who have been impacted. But first, Faith in New York held a candidate forum for City Council District 8 candidates. Arlene Makoko has a story.
What is your overarching vision as a leader for this community, for the Mott Haven community, for the next 4 years?
Faith Over Fear hosted a forum in New York City Council District 8 where a four-way race is underway to replace the current speaker, Melissa Mark Viverito. With candidates Israel Martinez and Roberto Rodriguez absent, Diana Ayala, a Democrat and Deputy Chief of Staff under Speaker Viverito, was matched up against Tamiko Math, also a Democrat, and Bronx Girl Scout troop leader.
When I'm elected as City Councilwoman, I'll be working closely with Assemblyman Rodriguez and Congressman Espaillat to improve the district's quality of life.
Housing is definitely going to be on the forefront of what I would like to focus on, building more affordable housing.
With both sharing similar backgrounds as teen mothers who struggled as primary caregivers, both shared their ability to identify with others within the district and pledged to be a voice for all at a time when development and new housing are being added at unprecedented levels.
Because the city is not doing enough to actually protect our residents with affordable housing and trying to save our affordable housing and making sure that our living wage gets to $20 per hour.
Housing, preserving the units that we have, making sure that people are not living in substandard conditions because they feel that they cannot report their landlords.
The organization is hosting forums like this one throughout the Bronx and in East Harlem. Resist the hate and build the beloved city is their motto. Here at the Fort Mott Baptist Church on Willis Avenue off 146th Street, the questions were about police accountability, religious freedom, immigrant justice, with both agreeing to enforce laws already in existence.
My hope is that the audience that was here listened intently and deeply and carefully to the candidates, and based on what they heard from the candidates, that they will choose the person that has Mott Haven in their heart.
A lot of the issues that they were discussing, it showed that they really were passionate about what they were trying to do, and I think that maybe it is time for a change. And I mean, I think that the change that they are trying to implement seems like it's something that's going to actually be a positive impact towards this community.
Many questions were asked, and the audience say they were pleased with the answers, and now they have what they need to make a firm decision by September 12th. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
And welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee. In the wake of Hurricane Harvey and all the other Irma and all the other hurricanes that's brewing up, you know, we have the community. They came together to collect items to deliver to those impacted by the storm. Joining us for a look at what they are doing and what you can do to help, we have Jean DeFrancis and Chad Casalino. Yeah, we welcome you guys to the show.
Thanks, Bob.
A lot of hurricanes brewing. What's going on here?
Yeah,
Is it
well,
El Nino or
well,
climate?
this is something that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Not at this level, but you know, you always have to be prepared. Today's a great day of, you know, an example of the unexpected. You know, no one expected 2 airplanes to go in to our towers and hurt that many people. We, as Americans, we're resilient and we got to help each other, you know, no matter the cause.
Yeah, so you're helping right now with Hurricane Harvey, and you're waiting to see what's going to happen with
Irma.
With Irma
Yeah,
and Jose to follow. So you guys are out there.
Well, no, we're not hurricane experts. We're a local merchants association.
Yeah, but you're helping.
But we're
You got
helping
sleeves
because
rolled up.
they're human beings. We're human beings. We're all Americans. We gotta, like you said in your opening, which was so great. You know, that compassion. I remember that. I was stationed in Pearl Harbor. I was in the Navy at the time when I got the call because the time difference in the middle of the night, and that compassion. Everybody rushed to help. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, religion, skin color. It was
I'm
it
getting
was
the
people
chills
helping
here because
people.
we're always waiting to times of sympathy to feel that.
And it's ridiculous.
You know?
And Chad to let everybody know is a first-time volunteer of doing something, especially at this scale. And hopefully we grow a new neighborhood activist in the area.
So tell us about some of the work that you guys are doing right now.
So at the Merchants Association, we're working on saturation, sanitation, and security. We live in a very safe neighborhood in Allerton. We still have crime. It's a big, major city, so we focus and help that work with our local police department.
Yeah.
And we try to bring new business, encourage young entrepreneurs to get involved, not be afraid of starting a small business. We know the obstacles in the way of a small business thriving in today's climate, so we started an incubator program. We do a lot of little things, and then when we saw Hurricane Harvey, we know the compassion of our neighborhood, and we know this was a no-brainer, so we found a couple of people that could spare a week. We load the truck and we drive down and help our fellow Americans.
You guys are going to drive to Texas?
Oh yeah.
Whoa,
yeah, no.
oh my God.
You want to come with?
Oh,
come on, bring the cameras. Let's go.
Hey, BronxNet.
Let's do it. We got another volunteer. We have about six or seven volunteers with us right now, confirmed, solid. Trying to get a few more. So if anybody's interested, you know, if you have a car and you want to bring it down with us, we'll start a caravan down there and let Houston know the Bronx loves them. You know, we're all the same.
How did you get the feeling that, you know, this is something that I want to do? This is in my heart. I'm passionate about helping others get what they need out of life.
Watching CNN the whole time, I just really felt really bad for everybody and help in any way I can.
Good. You watch CNN and BronxNet. That's wonderful.
Just watching all the news channels.
There you go. So you said, you know, let me get together with some wonderful people and help others.
Yes, I know him for a very long time, and I think it's a very good thing to help everybody as much as possible.
There you go. And you have my cousins out in the area, the Allerton area.
Yeah.
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 So they'll probably be rolling up their sleeves to help you out also.
Several are, and a lot of donations have been coming in. We still have room for some more. We're looking for diapers, size 4, because we're coming in at the second wave. When the storm hits, there's a huge rush of people looking to help, but what they need to remember is that this is a long-term relief. They're going to need help for a very long time.
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't jump in the van and head down there immediately. We said we know that, unfortunately, as the news coverage tapers off, we have to keep them in our focus because they're going to need help, like I said, for a long time.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys a camera, and you just let us know some of the items that you're asking for.
Okay.
You can take this camera right here.
Sure. So we're looking for diapers, preferably in the box, large package of up to 100, of size 4. 3 is fine, 5 is okay. Anything lower, not preferable. Towels, blankets, dog treats for the animal shelters. We're going to take those down. No clothing. Water, we have a couple of pallets already locked and loaded, ready to go, so we're good with the water. And what was the, hygiene.
Hygiene.
Yeah, toothbrush, toothpaste, simple things like that.
Oh, coloring books and crayons.
And the coloring books and the crayons for the kids in the shelter to kill the time. Thanks, Chad. Yeah.
All right. So is there a number or website where we can go to?
Reach out to us at allertonmerchants@gmail.com. The response has been huge, so give us some time to reply. Or you can visit us at 930 Allerton Avenue, the office, that's the Merchants Association office now. And we'll be open 7 days to collect items all the way up until Sunday.
You guys are great, man. We love you. Give them a big hand, everybody. All right, doing some wonderful things in our community. Harvey Relief from the Bronx.
That's right.
And I know Irma's coming up too. You're going to be working on that also.
We're keeping a close eye on Irma. Yeah, we have to. You know, Florida is no different. All American. Florida, Houston, New York.
Well, let us know, okay?
Yeah.
Great work. All right, we have to take a quick break right here, but coming up next, we'll take a look at a sports event working to unite a global community. But first, in the days following September 11th, the attack, we spoke to a doctor on how to deal with trauma. Let's take a look.
Doctor, so many people have lost friends, relatives, loved ones in this horrible tragedy. What's your advice to people trying to cope with their loss?
To reach out to their families, friends, to the supportive services that are around in order to try and make sense of the tragedies that have occurred, and in terms of dealing with their own grief. Reaching out to counseling services as well as to the blood centers, to other types of places that they could have an active participation in what's going on is very important as a way of also dealing with their loss so that they don't have to feel as helpless.
Now, there are people who are struggling to deal with this on their own. Maybe they believe counseling isn't for them. What do they need to go through in their mind that maybe they are missing?
Very often someone might think that going to a counselor would be a sign of weakness. Instead, it's a sign of strength because this way you can wind up utilizing your own resources and that of the counselor to make the grief process and just the process of healing go faster. So that the main thing is, don't think about any stigma attached to counseling. Utilize any of the services that are available, especially the counseling services, because if you don't do that, it'll take a much longer process to try and heal and to try and rebuild your life with this great tragedy.
Anything I might have missed that you'd like to discuss that you've been maybe coming across here at work?
Yes, it's very important for people to realize that even if you don't have family and friends who are directly involved in this, but you may have other people that you know who have family and friends or others, you get affected, your life is affected. This has made an imprint on us all, which will wind up influencing whatever we do in our day-to-day lives. If we don't talk to each other, if we don't try and open up the communication, what can often happen is that it could lead just to anger and hatred towards other people and towards having other psychological problems such as recurrent thoughts and nightmares, the difficulty sleeping, depression, a type of hypervigilance. So anytime we go now into the subway or walk on a block or look up at a tall skyscraper, we may be afraid that something's going to happen to us. Certainly it will affect our lives in terms of being afraid of going on planes again. What this means is that all of us here, particularly in New York, but it's Washington, it's across the country, have to deal now with fear on our own shores. So we need to be able to coalesce our forces to talk with each other, keep the communication going so that we don't just feel that strong sense of helplessness and powerlessness about what has occurred.
Welcome back. The Down in Nations Cup event. It's coming up with representatives from 32 different countries. Joining us for a preview, we have manager Lexi Lehman. We welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Dr.
Now,
Bob.
you are no stranger of the show.
I am not. It's good to be back. Third time. Guess that's a charm.
All right, you're a veteran.
I am. Well, I think we're a veteran because our company loves to share what we're doing, and our Bronx community is one of the best places to do it.
There you go.
So happy to be back sharing another incredible initiative, but this time
with a twist.
With a twist,
yeah.
And a lot bigger.
All right.
So the Danone Nations Cup is coming up T-minus 2 weeks from yesterday, so Sunday, September 24th at Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey, so not too far from here. And this is the largest global soccer tournament for kids.
How'd you come up with that name?
Well, it's hosted by Danone.
Danone.
So Danone is our parent company. Here in the U.S., you may know us as Danone. But we are a French company, and actually this October is our 75th anniversary in the U.S., and we were founded right here in the U.S. in the Bronx. So proud to bring the Danone Nations Cup, which is a global event, right here to our original hometown in the Bronx. But this event engages 2.5 million kids across the world every single year since 1998. Yes,
That's big.
It's
That's
big.
epic.
It's epic.
Yes.
It's an epic event coming right here, and it engages 32 different countries throughout the year. Again, these 2.5 million kids, 11,000 schools, 33,000 soccer clubs, where across these different countries, kids between the ages of 10 to 12 will compete to represent their country in the World Final. And every year that World Final takes place in a different country, and for the first time in its 18-year history, it's coming here to the U.S. So we're really excited and proud to host these different nations and invite our community to join us.
Go Dannon.
Go Dannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where's it going to be held?
It's at Red Bull Arena on the 24th. It's an all-day event. So from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., there are activities throughout the day. So while the kids are going to be participating in their final soccer matches, competing for the championship, there's also a very large family activity village outside the arena. So a lot of our brands and sponsors are doing family activity-focused games. So you can bring your whole family for the day.
Yeah.
You can watch some soccer matches. You can participate in the Mini Ninja Warrior course. There's dancing. There's food sampling and food trucks. There's entertainment in the stands. And it's a full day for us to rally around these kids who are coming from all these countries like Ghana and Ukraine and Mexico and teams from the U.S. and show them they can believe in their dreams and become a soccer star.
That's great. That's great.
It's
all
pretty
happening
cool.
right here in our town.
It's happening right here in our town. And I do want to point out that, if you remember when we were here last time, we were talking about girls empowerment.
Yes, tell us, how's that working out?
It's working out great. We're at 99% success rate, and we're continuing it with the Danone Nations Cup, where this year, with it being hosted in the U.S., is the first year of the girls tournament. So it's traditionally a boys event, and we have added in a girls tournament because we are very much supporters of girls empowerment, and we have a USA ambassador, Abby Wambach, the two-time Olympian. So she'll be joining us.
I thought, didn't we speak about, what's happening with the guys or the girls?
Oh, yeah.
Because it was just one way at the time.
It was just a boys tournament.
Boys tournament.
And we had a few co-ed teams, but we said, you know what, to come to the U.S., we've got to support these girls.
Girls power.
Girl power.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. We've got Abby Wambach coming. We've got other soccer stars. And the day concludes with a live concert by the Joe Jonas band DNCE.
Ooh,
so a lot of fun.
I know that.
Yeah, I know that. I didn't know it before, but all the young guys told me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really fun day, and we're actually here today to invite the Bronx community because this event is all about positive values, about cultural sharing, health and wellness, healthy lifestyles, and because we want to engage our communities, we have complimentary tickets for our local schools, our local soccer clubs, our community organizations like YMCAs to join us so we can share this positive experience and let that continue throughout our community.
Okay, Lexi, let me bring you guys together. Lexi, here's our wonderful people. Grab this camera and just invite the community.
Well, we are extending an invitation to our local communities throughout the New York and New Jersey area, as well as Connecticut, to join us on Sunday, September 24th at the 18th Annual Danone Nations Cup. Please visit our website and our email, danonationscup@danone.com. That's DANONE. And we would love to invite you with complimentary tickets for you and your teachers and your family members and your kids to thank you for all you do in the community.
Danone Nations Cup manager, Lexi Lehman. Lexi, what's that website again?
DanoneNationsCup.com.
DanoneNationsCup.com. Say it 5 times.
I can't.
At home, try it. TheKnownNationsCup.com.
Yep.
TheKnownNationsCup.com. Thank you so much for coming by.
Always good to see you.
And after it's said and done, can you come back and show more?
You bet.
Yes, there you go. Give Lexi a big round of applause, everybody. Gonna take a quick break right here, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next. Welcome back. Hey, on September the 23rd, it's coming up. The Sutphin Business and Development District that's out in Jamaica, Queens, they're going to hold their annual Harvest Festival. This is the first of its kind out there. And joining us with a preview, we have Glenn Greenidge. Glenn, we welcome you to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you for...
Sutphin Boulevard is big, and you guys have been out there for a while. You do the Sutphin Boulevard bid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at the bid, we run from Jamaica Avenue all the way down, from Hillside all the way down to 94th. So we've got the transportation hub for downtown Jamaica. So it's pretty exciting. There's a lot of new things that are going on. We've got $400 million development projects that are going on.
Yeah.
The mayor just sponsored the Jamaica Now project, which is $104 million of new development, and the governor, of course, for DRI, gave us $10 million. So there's a lot of exciting things happening in downtown Jamaica, and Sutphin Boulevard is part of that growth and development.
Building it up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so tell us about some of the things that you do and then what's coming up.
Well, specifically what I'm responsible for promoting and marketing of that area. And so I believe that we're creating a renaissance in downtown Jamaica. And so Sutphin Boulevard is really the kind of like the transportation hub that is the gateway to downtown development. And so we promote, we market public safety, cleanliness, all of the things that are needed to bring people into the district.
Yeah, I have a couple of my favorite food places around that area down there,
Yeah.
and some good stores that I shop at.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All in that area. So you have something unique coming up. First time.
First time. We're calling it the Harvest Fest, and my tagline is that it's not going to be just about sausages and corn. we really want to make it the culture. The culture diversity that's available in Queens, as you know, is the most diverse county in the country, And so we want to take advantage of that. We want to bring in the kinds of different foods and the crafts and the dances and different cultural music and so forth. So we're really lining something up.
I can see the big mix out there.
Yeah.
Because you got the Caribbean people.
We've got Caribbean. We've got quite a few Latin American folks out there as well. We have the Bangladesh. We have the Bangladesh community. And so we've got, just a melting pot. And so we're excited about it, and we're looking forward to bringing all of these things together.
When you're saying that, I'm just, I picture myself walking down, from spot to spot and smelling the different aromas of these foods from these different countries.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. But we're also going to be doing some education. So we're going to have an educational center where we're going to have mentoring going on. We're going to have a senior citizen center where we're going to cater to their needs. So we've got several of our sponsors that are going to be out doing some work with us.
Those seniors out there, they party.
Yes, they do.
Because I did something for them, and I thought maybe I had to play one record, and they're going to get tired and go sit down. Did those seniors stay up on the dance floor? I said, oh, all right, you going, I'm going, let's go.
Yes.
And we hung out with the seniors. We had a good old time.
Yeah, our seniors are very active. So it's an important part of the community to bring all aspects, the young, the old, and the middle-aged, all together to have a good time.
So how do you see it? We're going to walk around, and how's that going to look that day?
Well, we're going to have, we have entertainment all day long, pretty much. We have a main stage. We're going to have...
come out there and host some of that.
Yes, you're hosting. Yes, yes, absolutely. So looking forward to having you out there.
All right. FM, you coming with me? We're going to go host.
Absolutely. So we're going to have a fashion show. We're going to have DJs. The Bangladesh community's coming out, and they're going to do some dances and cultural things. So we've got got all kinds of different things. Spoken word. A lot of entertainment kind of things. Of course, we're going to have the bouncy houses for the kids and to come out as well. So we're going to have a variety. We're going to have auto show. So we're going to have some vintage cars out there.
Let me call Funk Master Flex from Hot 97.
That's right.
Have him bring some of his cars down.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's good.
So we're excited.
Yeah, it looks good for the first one, right?
Yes, the first one, and we're looking to draw anywhere 15, 20,000 for the first time. Yeah. And we think that would be a successful event, and we're confident that we could do that.
You got some of the elected officials working with you?
Yes, absolutely. The congressmen, the state assembly, the state senators, the council folks. So everybody is really pulling for this to happen, and we're working together because it's an exciting time for downtown Jamaica and for Suffern Boulevard bid specifically.
Yeah. How did you choose this particular time or date?
Well, we were looking at harvest, and we wanted to do something in the fall, and the dates kind of lined up, and so we went with that. So that the 23rd was also an available date. We didn't want to wait too late before the weather started to turn, so we wanted to get it. So maybe we'll catch an Indian summer. You never know.
Yeah, I know you were hanging out with Charlie.
Yes, absolutely.
Give Charlie a shout out.
That's right. Charles is a good guy. Yeah, he's working with us. Yeah.
He's been on me. He said, all right, I haven't heard from you. You've been on vacation, but you said you're going to call me when you get, and I did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Well, listen, I mean, you're legendary out there. Come on, Queens. Listen, this Renaissance is kind of bringing back the 70s when downtown Jamaica was the place to come shop. Yeah. And I'm sure you remember those times coming out. I do. And so we're looking to bring it back.
Looking forward to doing some wonderful things with you.
I'm looking forward to working with you. Absolutely.
Where can we go for more information?
Well, you can give us a call at 718-291-2110. That's our office number. We're going to be working with Clearview Festival, so that's the website if you want to be a vendor to bring your exquisite work to the event. And we're just looking forward to having a great time.
Before we wrap up, you have anything else coming up that we should know about?
Well,
some of the other things that you're doing?
I wanted to include something I think that's a little tied to 9/11, and that's the Hate Has No Business Here campaign. We had a couple of press conferences about it, and it's important to let people know that it's a safe community, we're a diverse community, and we invite you to come out and join us and commune together. Just really have a good time out with the shops.
Thank you so much. Glenn Greenwich, everybody. Give him a big round of applause. The Executive Director, SuffernBoulevardBid.com. All right, we got to take a quick break right here, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next. But first, let's take a look at how the borough presidents, over the years, how they reflected on September the 11th. Check it out.
I'll be doing what I have been doing for the last week since the second plane hit the South Tower. I recognized at that point that I had to return to my office, assemble key staff, and respond to the needs of this borough. Coordinate resources as appropriate. You know, we were out of contact with the mayor's office for a day and a half. Make sure that our hospitals were ready, our clinics were ready, our schools received the counseling they needed for their kids. And that we were prepared for any emergency here. And to coordinate the transfer of resources to the disaster site. I mean, Bronxites were unbelievably generous in their response to this with supplies, food, volunteers, and we had to facilitate their movement downtown. It's important to recognize that while we're dealing with all this, there were so many people involved in this tragedy that this sadness will cross every doorstep in this borough and I think in this city, and we've got to brace ourselves for that, and that's part of what I'm doing as well.
The entire nation is pausing to reflect on what happened to us a year ago, where the enemies of freedom and what I consider these criminal cowards decided that they were going to attack our system of government, and that they were going to tear away at the great American fabric. And what has happened in that year of mourning and anguish and pain is that a people have come together and understood the treasure that we have in this wonderful, open, free, democratic society.
The thousands of lives that we lost, some of them from the Bronx, the names that you will hear a little later on, those are the real heroes. Those are the people who pay the ultimate sacrifice. Those are the people who ran into ground zero. The people afterwards digging folks out. They embody and they exemplify what we should really celebrate.
Youth Community Outreach Program, well, also known as YCOP. They're going to be holding their third annual gala. It's coming up, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to go check it out. Joining us for a look at the gala that's coming up, we have Henry Wilson. Henry Wilson is in the house.
That's right.
As we scroll up and down.com. Henry, welcome to the show.
Good to see you,
All right.
Good to see you.
Now, tell us a little bit about YCOP. I know it provides an opportunity for at-risk youth to be exposed to positive role models and careers in the field of education, but you can elaborate on that.
So when we first started the YCOP program, or I should say the reemergence, because actually YCOP was originally founded in 1992 by a former detective. That's why in Mount Vernon, that's why it's called YCOP.
Yeah.
But then it kind of went on a hiatus, and then in 2012 we brought it back, made it a licensed program. Our first summer we only had 35 campers. This past summer we had 150 campers.
Yeah.
So we're a licensed after-school program, out-of-school program. We provide a year-round service now in Mount Vernon.
Are these mostly retired police officers?
No. This is a whole new staff, college
Started
students.
by the officer.
Yes.
I met him. Yes.
Right, Brother Allen is.
Yes.
So now, it's a lot of folks who work in child care, some social workers,
People who know
program
youngsters.
director, people who know youngsters, people who know program development. So we put a little twist on the program for what it used to be, basically a drop-in back in the day, to now where it's at now, so we could service more people in the community.
What do the students learn?
Oh, they learn a lot of things. So first of all, one of the things that we focus on, particularly in our after school, in our summer camp program, we take them out of the urban landscape. So a lot of our kids never been hiking, never been fishing, never been horseback riding, things of these natures. So these are new experiences for them. And so last year in our after school program, we took 14 5th and 6th and 1 7th grader on a college tour. Now, remarkably, only 3 out of the whole 14 were familiar with any type of college experience through their parents or older siblings. So it was eye-opening to them. We visited Iona College and Concordia College in Westchester County.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what does it cost to send a child to?
See, it's a fee-based program, small fee, $350 a month for the after-school program, $695 for summer camp, 7-week program, 7:30 to 5 o'clock in the summer. So what they pay out, they get much more back in return for what we offer.
Yeah. So, but the college tour, if somebody wants to sponsor a kid going on one of those college tours,
Absolutely.
to check out the colleges,
Right.
what do they have to do?
So all they have to do is contact me. They can contact me through 914-215-3063. We have a Facebook account, which is easy to find, and we have a Twitter account under the YCOP name.
Okay. Well, I want to be the first to, I want to send a child.
Well, absolutely, absolutely.
Through the Make the Grade Foundation for Education.
Right, which I think is coming up. Your program is coming up in October, I believe, right?
December 7th.
December,
Yeah.
right.
So
right.
I want to send a couple. We always take kids and put them in different programs. We pay
Good.
for it. We build radio stations and everything. But I don't want to talk about mine. I just want to talk about mine based upon what I want to do to send a couple of kids
Absolutely.
on one of your tours.
And we can we can work on that.
Yeah.
So as you know, we have our second annual dance benefit coming up at the end of this month, September 20th, which you're the host of that again.
I'll
and
host
I
it.
appreciate it. But we're going to put a lot of emphasis on what the kids do in our programs this year.
I like to do a lot of things in the community. You know, I work with lots of different organizations.
I know you do.
I'm happy to be working with yours too.
Right.
You know, if you're a nonprofit, you're doing something positive in the community. You know, I want to be there for you.
So it's important to say from January 1 to December 31st, we could see anywhere between 400 and 500 kids in all our different programs that we offer.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm very proud of where the program has elevated to and plus I got a good team. You know Marco.
Yes.
You know,
Marco Knowles, who
yeah,
works with the
yeah.
chamber,
That's
Uptown
right.
Chamber.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's been very instrumental. Betsy Dorlin, who's my program director, Donna Brown, we brought in a new development person to help us with outreach and fundraising. So it's been working out pretty well over
It's
the
important to have a team.
That's
you know,
right.
to help our youngsters get what they need out
That's
of life.
right. That's right.
Now, you spoke about the after-school programs.
Right.
Talk about it. How do we qualify for that?
So after school program is primarily people who live in the Mount Vernon area. We provide transportation, we provide snacks and a full meal. Now most programs don't provide a full meal.
Yeah,
We
you get
provide
some
a full
crackers
meal.
and stuff like that, but
exactly.
you
No,
got a
we
full
go.
meal
We
going
do the whole 9 yards. And then there's recreation, and then there's arts and craft. But one of the primary things that we help out is with homework. So we have college interns that come by, and we have a lot of National Honor Society kids from the local high school come by as well.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned something about taking the kids out of their environment
Right.
so they can get an opportunity to see other things.
Right.
And I remember that happening for us when we were kids. Our father used to take us out into the country.
That's right.
The first
That's
time
right.
to see cows and horses
That's
and
right. That's
farmland
right.
and all that.
That's right.
And he used to say, see that fine house and those fine cars and those horses and cows, you can have that too. All you have to do is stay in school.
Right.
How important is it in your mind to take kids outside of that environment, that concrete jungle, so they can get an opportunity to see other things?
Well, when young people have the opportunity to be exposed to things other than with their regular environment, it opens up a whole new world to them. So as I mentioned, these kids who went on the college tour, this is something now is planted in their head. It's like a seed.
Yes.
I want to go to college because now they got to visit dorms. They got to see other kids interacting with each other from all different backgrounds and all different cultures. So, but when you take them out of that element and you expose them to different experience, you know, it's mind blowing. It's really mind blowing.
Any great stories, people coming back to help out?
Oh yeah, we have a number of parents that come by, help out on a regular, even after their parents even after their kids have graduated from the program. So one of the things that we also implemented when kids age out of the camp, say for age 12, we started a counseling training program. So now these 13, 14, 15-year-olds have the opportunity to work and possibly earn a stipend and learn about the benefits of counseling.
I'm loving it. I like it. I like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, we're doing a lot. Like I said, I got some good people with me.
You need some volunteers?
All the time we need volunteers.
Here's a camera.
Boop. So contact us at Youth Community Outreach Program through our Facebook and Twitter page, and also at 914-215-3063.
There you go. Give him a big hand, everybody. Henry Wilson, the Executive Director, YCOP, in the house, and we're looking forward to visiting you. Once again, the date is?
September 28th is our benefit gala. We're always looking for sponsors and donors.
All right, where can we reach you?
At 914-215-3063. And let me
914, let me scratch my
914-215-3063. And it's going to be held at the Lake Isle Country Club this year.
There you go. Thank you very much, Henry.
All right.
All right, thank you. Before we close the show, I would like to share that a great member of our team, Brianna, she's going to be moving on. I heard she got a great gig coming up and everything. She got most of her training from here. So give Brianna a big round of applause, everybody. Brianna, thank you for all your work here on Open, and we wish you much success. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I'd like to thank our guests and you for tuning in and checking it all out. If you missed any part of today's show, well, you can tune into the recablecast of Open at 5 and 10 p.m. or watch anytime on the web at BronxNet.org, or you can catch an all-new episode Wednesday at 10 a.m. with our host, Darren Jaime. Please never forget those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our nation 16 years ago. Remember to head out to the polls. Remember that tomorrow, September the 12th, and make your voices heard. It's important. Exercise your right to vote. For all of us here at BronxNet, thank you. Have a great and enjoyable day. And always remember this, what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice, and let your choice control the chooser. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and I'll catch you on your radio tonight. Love you all. Peace. 107.5 WBLS.